Hey, I just had a couple of people ask about how I do my mod farming since I mentioned that I don't just farm mods from the store, so I just figured I would post an example of my process. This is not pre-recorded, so I have no idea if this is going to go well or not today, but I mean, we'll find out. Alright, so the common trap that I see people think is that gray mods are bad. And very quickly, once you start running this, the thing that you're going to realize is it's practically the opposite. I could do this with speed, but that's not really what I'm here to snipe, but we can just look at the stats and imagine a speed set or whatever you would want to go for anyway. So I'll probably just stick with that. I'm really either looking for tenacity or defense, but I kind of really need everything, so I don't know what I want to pull the trigger on just yet. We can just do speed. Once you start doing this method, if you aren't already seeing this, you're going to see this a whole lot. It's fine, not a huge deal. You can parse through it. But okay. So now you have a ton of mods that you would normally consider junk. So let's go ahead and jump in. So once you're in the mod area, this is your new best friend. If you're not already using this, you should be. So we're going to set only unassigned mods on, just because it's going to be easier to find those new mods that we just got. If you only want to see the mods that you just got, you can just go only unassigned speed, and then dip down here to 5e. And now we'll have, I didn't actually get that many grays today, but we'll have a selection of grays. You can already see I'm running this technique. These are just the ones that I have left over that I haven't touched on yet. But, I mean, you can already see right now kind of where this is headed. All of these 9 mods are mods that showed a speed rule. So let's just run down this really quickly. So for gray mods, I will usually upgrade them to level 6, unless it's a really, really strong set and primary pairing. And then I'll take it to 9, but it really just kind of depends on the type of mod as well. Like, if it's a triangle, I will usually just fish it to 12. It just depends on how many credits you have. I'm sitting at 5 million. There's a lot of stuff coming up, so I don't necessarily want to burn through all of these. So you're really just trying to decide how much you want to spend per mod, because this is 20, this is, 38. 12, I generally wouldn't push, just because while this isn't a lot in itself, if you have, say, 10 gray mods, that's 800,000. So we'll just do 6 for right now and just kind of see what we see and go from there. See, here's the speed. Actually, I do like crit avoidance. That's not to say, do pay attention to, speed is a weird situation just because all you really need is speed secondary. But, if this is like an accuracy arrow, like it's arrows or, triangles and crosses, you don't really need to be picky because, again, you just need the secondary. But, I definitely know there are some people who argue that you don't really even need to bother with this. But, we just got a 3 speed, so kind of who cares? Okay, so we got 1 speed reveal out of that. If you want, this has decent stats, so sure. Yeah, we'll stop there. Why is the not turning on? Hello? Okay. So we got 1 here. So for colored mods, it changes. There's a pattern. We just want to reveal all 3 here. And because we can get all 4 stats for cheaper than a gray, I would generally say that this is more worth it. Because really, you're just thinking about the rate that you're paying to reveal more about the mod. So for greens, that's a pass. But let's say I'm clicking too fast today. Didn't get any blues. Looked like it was a lot of 4 dots and 3 dots. But anyway, so whole point of this being, let's abstract things out a bit here. So here's a couple of examples. So for purples, you only have to pay once to reveal that last stat. So it's very cheap, very nice. Just take it to level 3. Same thing for blues, level 6. Also pretty straightforward. But yeah, that's really all you need to do in this process is, and I've seen a lot of people mention this, not knowing that we already technically have the capability. If you are looking for level 1 mods, do not use this sword. Just leave it at rarity. And so, I mean, you kind of saw it here. We have level 15, level 12, and a level 1's at the bottom. And that's kind of why we use only unassigned mods, is because if we left it off, there's suddenly a whole lot more to scroll through. Especially if you're in your blue area, this is just a headache. So, use only unassigned and work this way. But then, so the second half of this, and part of why this is so effective, is because you can start to become very, very picky. So at this point, we'll turn on the speed secondary stat, just to get rid of those arrows, and go back to speed set. And these are 3 speeds. You know, you could say, oh, I'm not going to slice anything that isn't a 5-speed secondary or whatever. But just for demo purposes, and because I'm not that picky necessarily, yeah, it's not terrible. Nope, that's a fail. Decently high offense roll, middle defense roll. Offense roll, but again, it depends on the type of mod. If this were like a crit damage or a crit chance or offense, this wouldn't be terrible. I mean, not great, but it really just depends on the type of mod that you're working on. But yeah, it really is just a lot of, you know, this is almost max for offense roll. There we go. So 2 fails in 1 hit, but again, this isn't meant to blow you away with, wow, look at how much I got at one time. This is just a process that I do on a nearly daily basis unless I'm hoarding crystals. And yeah, you just keep on doing this over time, and that's how you end up with a solid middle layer of mods. I mean, it can obviously lead to more top mods as well. I mean, I just got my best square. I just got my best square a couple days ago doing this. Because really that's all this is you start at 5e and you say, okay, slice. And if it, you know, succeeds and you're at D, then you kind of look at the opportunity cost. So let's say, good example right now, you know, 9 speed, I would hit this. 8 speed, that's 4 each, that's still not terrible. But like, you know, 7. Or I don't think I have any 6s. I think I sold my 6s. You know, 7 is a 4 plus 3. So, like, if you think about what this could become, you know, if this gets a minimum roll, this is a 3 speed. So this is basically a suboptimal mod, because a 10 speed on a 3 roll is basically an inferior 2 roll 10 speed. You know, this one, obviously 12 to 16 or 12 to 15, that's good ROI potential. We would hit that. And so the way that this works over time is, you know, usually I will just do 3 times 50 refreshes on farming mods, and we do have these as well to think about, so I actually could work through these too. I can get through, oh, there we go. You can go through, wow, it's actually a decent haul. Selling these as well. Selling, because I definitely know that there are a lot of people who probably just have a full mod collection, and you don't, A, you don't want to deal with it, but B, also, you don't really feel like having to sort through everything. So anything that's 3 dot or 4 dot, just a gray or a green, immediately you can ditch. 4 dots in general, I know that there are some people who would just say, never will I ever touch them. I mean, you can see here, you know, 12 speed blue, 8 speed. This we can probably get rid of, actually. Yeah. This, we just got this when I did all my farming in this video. I'm curious, because speed secondary triangles, I'm still pretty low on. So, well, this will probably be garbage. Let's find out. Yeah. Easy sell. 8 speed, crit chance, offense, offense. 4 dot cannot go to 6E, so this % offense will not be amazing. You could. I mean, defense, 7 defense isn't terrible. But again, it can't be sliced either. Wait, I'll hang on to that for now, just until my 5-dot collection gets better for crit chance wise. But anyway, so the easy way to do this is, so for example, speed is always my go-to. And I've already did a lot of cleanup, so this might not make the best example. But, so let's go speed set, speed secondary stat. And then when you're in the cell area, sort works by reverse. So you will start off with things that don't have speed and work your way up. So right now you can see, let's go to the very top. So I have sold all speed set non-speed secondaries, but if you have any left, they will show up right here. And obviously, if you're running a speed set, you need speed, so why would you equip a speed set without a speed secondary? Just sell them all. You don't even have to think about it, in my opinion. Grays, you know, we're not going to touch them for now. Some people would say just ditch these. This is just a specific type of mod that I'm trying to snipe right now. I actually did just get one recently. That's the cellular. Whatever. Don't worry about it. But, you know, I would definitely know some people would just say just sell these. But this is just a rabbit hole that I've been going in. But, so let's say easy examples are greens with 3 to 5. I would say you could just sell them. If it's a triangle and you are just starved for triangles or whatever the mod slot category is, but usually for most people it's triangles, you can hang on to these, but like circles and squares we're fine on, and these are just going to be more expensive than doing another gray, you know, with 3 to 5 speed. So we can absolutely get rid of those. Blue, you know, here I need speed set, potency, primary, speed, secondaries, so I might keep this, even though it's 7 speed, and, you know, greens have double the cost of grays, slicing-wise, and 25 times 10, blue, or not times, but blue is basically a 2.5 times increase, so, you kind of need to know where you're at, collection-wise, to know, you know, how many crosses do I have total? Let's actually check just for purposes of demo. Make sure to turn only unassigned off. Okay, so like this is an 8. This is a 7. This is a 7. So I don't know. Is this enough for everybody that would need it or whatever? I would probably keep these for now. And you don't really have to use these that often too. I don't know why I did it, but I was just being lazy. You can just click the slot, obviously. People probably know that by now. Like triangle is a very easy example. It's like, you know, here's a 14. Oh, it's not sorted by speed. You know, we get down here, we're already in the 9, so I only have 10 mods above 9 speed. You get here, you're at 6 speed. It's not great. So like, in this case, this is a pretty bad mod. But just because getting one speed roll in this up to like 9 or 10 would already push it up to here, and I only, you know, don't have that much of a collection above it, I would still consider hitting this. Or this. I think I just got this, so that's why it's still here, but this would be a very easy choice for me, just because I need triangles that badly. This, you could argue, should be a sell. But again, it's just a matter of, you know, say you're farming or modding your D teams, maybe this will still matter. But circle-wise, you can be very picky. You can see right here I have a whole lot of mods. And most of these mods were honestly probably started as grays. You know, you hit once, gets 8 speed. You know, 9 speed. And then you try to hit them again to blue, and they just fail. So you could go either way. You know, maybe they fail at blue, and you say, okay, you know, I don't really need you. I have, let's say, about 24 mods above you. So maybe you don't necessarily need him. But again, it's the examples pretty much explains. You just need to know your own collection, know what you have, know what you can sell. But you will need to get used to selling mods a lot and sort of learning to look for what's worth selling. So like, for example, one I've been looking at a lot recently is potency sets and scaling by potency. Because you could argue that most people who are equipping a potency sets would also really want a potency secondary. So anything that doesn't have a good speed roll here, which I'm pretty sure I already sold most of them, but like this guy, he won't upgrade at all. It's only 8 speed and no potency secondary. I would say that he could be on the chopping block, or like this as well. This is a little bit specialized. This is a decent amount of percent offense. So I would maybe hang on to it. But this is the other thing too, is as you start to delete all of your trash mods, your standards for what to delete will go up over time. And this can be you can see it as a good thing or a bad thing. You know, it will become harder or a tougher choice to delete certain mods. But at the same time, it also just means that the quality of your collection in general is going up. So that's how you can end up having a really nice collection built up over time. You might have noticed that I was picking up the 3 dots or 4 dots first, and that's just because it's easier to just sell them from here. I think we got them all, so let's just look for the good ones. Usually just start off with the color mods first and then work with the grays last, just because the grays tend to sit there for longer. That should be the last one, I think. Yeah. So you can just delete these. And then I should probably delete that. And then just look for whatever you would be most likely to want first. Defense primary, not the best, so we could end up trashing that, but just, we'll always roll. Always roll. There's no reason not to with how cheap it is credit-wise. Okay. Another quick example. We'll just try it again. We know we picked up blues and greens. If it already has what you want, you can just hit it to 12. Or you could argue that more responsibly. You could just hit it to 9, see what happens once. Yeah. I mean, not amazing, not terrible. Nope. And nope. So that would be a sell. See down to green. Take it to level 9. Oh, here we go. Nope. And that's the other thing I would say too is don't get demoralized. You know, maybe you just see a mod, it's like, oh man, this mod is incredible. I just bought this one from the store today. It had all of these. And these 2 rolls I actually did not mind at all. Just because I actually mainly had this in mind for Executioner, so I didn't really care too much about speed. But, you know, I definitely could see some people trying to get this mod and never hit speed once and just, oh, this method sucks. But it's just a practice over time thing. You know, you may not see, you know, sick, insane, mind-blowing immediate returns, but it's really just about keeping the practice up over the long term. Especially, here's some good examples then. If you go to sell, speed, if you're selling, don't sort by speed for this very reason. Is once we sort by speed sell, actually also it can help just to do that, just because, you know, some grays haven't been revealed yet. Or maybe you want to push them harder, but you see no speed here, easy sell. Do we care about revealing this? Is percent offense and protection with the health primary? I don't really see much potential for a character to use that, so we probably ditch that. But yeah, it's the same idea of like, you know, you could say search for mods to be sold and then try, you know, sorting by offense. You know, we see crit chance, tenacity. Not amazing, not terrible. Health, crit chance. I mean, I already called most of the ones, but like if you see like defense potency or defense protection or whatever, you can absolutely think about selling it. That I think can sell. It's about pickiness. So like right now, if it has a good set, a good primary, which obviously it's locked, but then one good fitting secondary, I'm kind of on the edge right now. I could just start selling these just because there are so many grays to work through otherwise that I should probably just upgrade my standards to like this, where it's like you have 2 potentially good secondaries, but it's tough. It's hard to say. I mean, if you look at it from an opportunity cost, if it has 2 good secondaries, there's a 50% or 50% chance that the first slice attempt will be fine or will be good. So you could actually pretty easily argue. And actually, I just made this decision while doing this. If it has good set and primary fit, then I'll probably stick with allowing one. But like, actually, I will say this: if you reveal 6 and you see a potentially good fit, then maybe take it to level 9. So we can actually just try that right now. Let's try this. Let's see. Percent offense, definitely. Crit chance. Okay, so that's potentially a stronger sell than it really would have been. This is a low offense roll, so I already... Their offense. Okay, maybe. And again, it's hard to say too because we're starting to get more units that need or don't need speed necessarily. But not having speed is still definitely a little bit rough. Sure. This I would maybe... Yeah, definitely selling. So yeah, that's another wrinkle I could add is if you get a good match on level 6, then hit it to 9. And then if you're desperate, hit it to 12. But that's basically the idea. Again, not scripted. I didn't write any of this down. I just kind of did it live and explained it all. But that's just the methodology. And then, you know, say you get a big haul. You're not necessarily going to slice through all the ones that you need. So you could do like 1 day of farming from challenges and then go here. And these are the pieces. You only need these pieces for slicing grays. So you can absolutely just, you know, keep working these until you run out of grays you really need to fish. I mean, you saw I have a backlog of 3 speeds, which, you know, aren't, you know, amazing, but aren't terrible. But it's really all it is. You know, I will still absolutely buy mods from the mod store. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this... already timed out. But I bought one earlier today. But just, this is so much cheaper. You know, we only spent, what, 700,000 credits working a whole bunch of mods versus, like, you know, I could buy this. But this is such a higher buy-in on a per-mod basis. And really, once you start this method, it really kind of puts the mod store into perspective just because you are working so many more mods over time. But yeah, that's all. Hope this was helpful.